So I blanked at the end of my last session. I moved in the morning but caught nothing. The weekend just gone, I was in Oxford at the Junior Carp Championships. That was really cool. Obviously I did it sort of 9 years ago, so it's quite cool to go back there. I came back to the lake on the Monday, did a day session. Now, I ended up catching a fish that I've really wanted to catch. Hasn't been out for over 2 years. I'd rank it right up there, my favourite capture, so I'm absolutely buzzing. Spawned out 28.5 pound, but wicked fish, and a real special one to me. So absolutely delighted to have caught that. I was with my mate Gav as well at the time, who's one of my bestest pals, longest standing pals. So yeah, that was really cool. And basically I went to work on a Tuesday and I've now come back. I've been here all day, haven't seen very much. The wind's blowing northerly, so down the other end, and it's been pretty quiet, but rod's out there sweet. I'm right back from the water, so we'll see. I think I've got a chance if anything turns up, but there is a chance. I think they'll be on the end of that wind, but I've seen fish, so hang it out, fingers crossed, and we'll see. Right, quick update. It's absolutely freezing. It's the first time I've been cold for a long time, but I'm actually sat here getting a little bit chilly. The wind has turned, which is a good thing, so it's now blowing up this end. Yeah, like I say, overcast, quite chilly, a little bit of rain this morning. I put my second rod out now, so I've got 2 rods out now, and it's looking good. I've just seen one cruise past, about sort of 20 yards out, so there's one at least not too far away, so it's looking good. I've got tonight to go. I'll be off tomorrow, so plenty of time to get a fish. Right, well, very little has happened since I last spoke to you. It's much warmer now. It's really shaded where I am here, but if you look through those trees, you'll see the old sun is out in full force. But yeah, all quiet. I've seen very little at all. In fact, it's got worse as the session's gone on. So I'd say with this weather now warming up, they will turn up tomorrow. But I'll be at home. I've got to go in a few hours, so I reckon I'll turn up here tomorrow, so I might try and pop back down. I know my missus is out on a hen do or something, so we'll see. But for now, weather's looking good, wind's picked up really strong, it's warming up, but I've got to go home. Soon anyway, not just yet, still time. Right, so I'm back down the lake for my last session before I go on holiday. So at the weekend, I'm going away for 17 days, I think. So I'm not going to be down here. So I'm hoping we'll end it, we'll put it all to bed this week and I can go on holiday and not sit there worrying my little heart out about the big one getting caught from here while I'm away. I am going to propose to my girlfriend while I'm out there. So by the time you watch this, hopefully she'll be my fiance. Hopefully I'd caught the big one as well. But yeah, so I'm going away, and this is my last session basically before I go. Got here last night, quite late, fished 1 rod throughout the night, caught nothing, and I've just redone them. Got 2 out now, and they're sweet. So apparently there's a good fish sitting up here the other day, which is nice to know. Got birds everywhere, it's really strange. I've had 2 blackbirds, a robin, and a blue jay in my swim all morning. In my bivvy, under my bed. The jay especially is sitting right next to me. He's very, very friendly. I've named him Jamie. So yeah, that's what I'm up to. And I've got 2 nights to go, so hopefully something good will happen. of hoped it would be eventful, and it hasn't been. I saw nothing up the other end. It was dead, literally nothing. So I moved down to the other end of the lake, down by the car park end, off the back of seeing fish. Did that yesterday, sorry. Fished last night, caught nothing other than a tench, but just fished a 1 rod. I've now got 2 rods out. Been a few down here today, but it's not looking spectacular. I've got to be off in the morning for work, and it might be my last session for, God, I'm on holiday for nearly 3 weeks, so a long time. So I'm a bit gutted, but fingers crossed. Never know, maybe that lucky second rod will produce a fish, I don't know. But it's not looking great going into the final night, but fingers crossed, see what happens. Right, I've been putting off talking about this because it's a bit of a sore subject really, but the common I've been fishing for sort of on and off and very hard for the last 2 years, that fish has died. So it was a while ago now, it was about a month ago that it's died. But like I say, I just haven't done this sort of bit explaining it. But basically, 2 days before I went on holiday, I've been talking about obviously all the time that I was praying it didn't get caught while I was away. Well, 2 days before I went, I turned up to the lake after work, just to have a look round and check my swim, like I did every day on the way home, as long as I could get away with it with a bird. But yeah, got to the gate. As I got to the gate, I heard a cheer. Looked through the gate, there was 2 cars there, 3 cars there. Didn't recognise any of them. There's a match lake just behind the lake I fish. I sort of thought it might be one of the match bods cheering, but also in the back of my mind I was slightly worried that it might be someone on the lake I was going to cheering because they caught the big one. Anyway, the padlock on the gate had been, for some reason, it had been put on wrong. I couldn't get through the gate, so I had to climb over the gate. As I was climbing over the gate, I got a text message from someone I hadn't spoke to for ages, and just randomly out of the blue, they'd asked me, it just said, "Did you catch that big common, mate?" That was all they asked. So I thought, that's weird. As I sort of got over the gate and I've read that, I thought, that's strange. Anyway, so I'm walking up the lake, panicking now that, 1, the fish is going to have been caught, and 2, that it's going to have been caught from the swim that I've been secretly seeing it in. I haven't been saying this in my diaries, but I've been seeing it quite regularly and felt really close to catching it. Anyway, so I've walked up the lake, kept going, looking for anglers, can't see anybody anyway. It got to the point where I thought, well, there's 3 cars here. The only place they can be is pretty much in the 1 or 2 swims where I'd been fishing. So I've got up to that bank, I've seen 3 people stood there, red t-shirts. I guess they'd come over from work or something. And there's matey holding a big fish, and as I got to the swim, it was the big one. He'd had the big one. It looked massive, to be fair. It was 47, I think it was 47 and a half, something like that, which was about £4 less than I thought. I thought it was going to be £51, at least £50. I thought it was going to be, more like £51, £52. And the fish, it didn't look great. I'd seen it a few times on the bank last year. I never said this as well, but I foul hooked it. It didn't come out all tall last year, but I did foul hook it in the spring. It was massive, much bigger than 47. And it had been growing steadily every year, so we were expecting big things for it. Anyway, he's caught that. I got a little bit of footage of it with him, but it didn't swim off well. A couple of times before that it hadn't gone off great, but it didn't swim off well at all. And unfortunately, 2 days later, on my first or second day of my holiday, got a phone call about a dead fish, and basically it turned out, once I'd seen the pictures, it turned out it was the big one, and it was dead. So it's horrible. Poor mate who'd caught it, I mean, he basically stalks it. The fish was sat, he said it was sat right on the edge, literally a couple of feet off the bank, and he'd seen it, gone back to his car, put hooked a mixer on or whatever, literally lowered it on its nose, and it took it. But I think the fish was unwell. You know, basically what happened is I'd been seeing it for a few weeks prior to this happening. And the first 2 times I saw it, I was really excited, but the more I saw it, I'd only seen this fish 3 or 4 times a year. But then I saw it 9 times in 11 days, and I was seeing it in some really peculiar places, and I started to worry that, you know, I'd see it on its own, parked up against the bank, and just looking unwell. You know, it was strange. Some days it looked fine. I actually got footage of it feeding on one of my spots. You know, fish comes in, there's 2 big fish there. I didn't know what they were at the time, but I just filmed them because they were big. There was a ripple on and stuff. And when I checked it on the laptop, it's the big one. I got some GoPro footage of him in a snag as well, a bit further up the bank. Every fish, you know, every big one that is in the lake was pretty much in this snag at one time. I didn't know he was there, but I put the GoPro in, and well, I played, you know, he came from basically behind the camera, so the big ones come in from very close to the bank. He looked fine, he looked healthy, he looked very big. There was another fish there, that's uncaught for 5 years, got that on the GoPro. There's another mirror, 28, which I actually ended up catching. That was uncaught for a couple of years, that was there. A couple of the other 30s, you know, all the big ones were there in this snag, and I got it all on GoPro. They were coming up to the lens a few times, but yeah, I got all these special fish on GoPro. That was pretty spectacular, to be honest. But yeah, so the big one was dead. So basically that's what's happened, and since then I've been flitting around a few other places. You know, I've been catching a few. I had a 36 common yesterday, which was nice. There's no publicity, so I can't show you it. But yeah, that's that. I thought best do the update 'cause it's getting on. We're in October now, and the fish died sort of middle of August. So yeah, that's that. Horrible situation, but I'm sure I'll find somewhere to replace that obsession. But well, try and do that right now.